The next video of the kingdom. So in this video, we're going to go back to 2014 and take a look at the remarkably terrible draft class. So this had some pretty big hype going into it. Andrew Wiggins, who was the first overall pick, was touted to be the next LeBron James, but as we all know, he never panned out to be like that. So we're going to take a quick brief look at the players drafted in this class. Then we're going to go look at an article ranking and grading the players in 2014, and then we're going to look at a redrafting process and see if we agree with that. So in the first part, I'm going to group the players into three groups: the role players, the starters, and then the all-stars. So the role players consist of Jabari Parker, Dante Exum, somewhat. Nick Stauskas is an okay player. Noah Vonleh, Alfred Payton, Doug McDermott, Dario Saric. Not really any of these guys. Then we got Rodney Hood, Shabazz Napier, PJ Hairston, somewhat, but not especially. Then we go all the way down, a bunch of no names. Kyle Anderson, a little bit. Glenn Robinson III, for sure. Dwight Powell, Jordan Clarkson, and that's about it for the role players. Then for the starters, there's a couple starters. We go with Aaron Gordon, Marcus Smart, Julius Randle, who's on the come up, Zach LaVine, who is close to the starter all-star role. He's getting there, but right now we just got to group him into the starter role. Gary Harris, who's a decent player. Clint Capella, who's pretty decent. And then Spencer Dinwiddie. But that's really about it, which is not that many for an entire draft class. Then for all-stars, there's only a couple. It is Joel Embiid, and then we got to go all the way down to Nikola Jokic. And it's two players, that is it. There's only been two players named as all-stars in this entire draft class. This draft class is horrible, has not met expectations at all. There is barely half the amount of players that are even role players. There's a bunch of players that just never panned out. Bunch of these guys, all of these guys, just it's incredible the amount of players that have made literally zero impact on the game. So now we're going to look at the ratings that each pick were given. So Andrew Wiggins was given an A. Looking back, we can probably give it a B to a C plus. He really hasn't panned out. Jabari Parker has been maybe a D. He barely played for the Bucks, got injured twice, and that was just a complete bust. Joel Embiid should be an A plus. It's an A minus. I'll give him a pass. I agree with Aaron Gordon's B plus rating. Dante Exum should be a C. Marcus Smart probably B plus to A minus range. Julius Randle probably B plus to A minus. He graded well. Nick Stauskas, it was his first C rating, and I agree with that. Noah Vonleh, no, definitely not an A plus. Probably more in the C range. I'm pretty surprised. I guess he had a lot of hype going in, and they thought he was a steal, but that just did not end up working out. Looking at more, Zach LaVine's is definitely an A rating at the 13th pick. TJ Warren's good at an A minus. James Young, definitely not an A there. More like a C. Gary Harris, A plus. Definitely agree with the 19th pick. Gary Harris was a good pick. A bunch of no names, so good ratings for that. Rodney Hood, good B plus pick. Shabazz Napier was not an A plus. For the 24th pick, I'd probably give him as a B, as he plays somewhat, but he's really not that good of a player. Clint Capella was a good pick there at 25, A minus. Bogdanovic, definitely better than a C minus. It's a 27th pick. I'd probably give him B plus, probably an A minus rating there. So he was off a little bit on that. Some other ratings he was off. KJ McDaniel, definitely not an A. C probably. Clay Anthony early with the A plus rating. That's a classic Knicks pick. People think it's good, and Clay Anthony early was a complete bust. Barely played. That's a D rating. He missed the boat on that. And some other, Spencer Dinwiddie, is I think I'd give him an A pick for the 38th pick. Spencer Dinwiddie is a really good player. He's up and coming. That is definitely an A. And then the surprising bad rating, Nikola Jokic as a B minus as the 41st pick. That is a straight A plus, no doubt about it. And just shows to show you that he proved the haters wrong. Going, Giannis's brother an A minus. We still have to wait for that. He's still very young. And then nobody else really. So the guy was mostly wrong on his picks. He had a couple right, but as you can see, analysis really don't know what they're doing, and you don't know who's going to pan out until years later. So we're going to look at our last article, the redraft, and let's see if I agree with it. So Joel Embiid, I agree with that. Should be the first overall pick. He's definitely the best player. It definitely goes 1A, 1B, and then a whole tier down. So Nikola Jokic must be the second pick if Joel is the first. Then Andrew Wiggins as the third pick, knowing now, it just shows you how bad this class was. Andrew Wiggins probably in a regular draft class is maybe the 12th to 15th best player in the draft class, but being third just shows you how weak this class really is. Aaron Gordon 4th, 5th, 6th. Zach LaVine I'd probably bump up a little bit. I think he's better than Marcus Smart and Clint Capella and Aaron Gordon and maybe even Andrew Wiggins, so I'd bump him up a little bit. But honestly, after we go after Julius Randle, like Joe Harris is the 13th pick. Like, come on, he's probably the 25th, 30th best player in another draft class. This just shows you how weak this class is. After the 12th pick, there's just nobody. Just Joe Harris has one specific role: shoot threes. That's it. This draft class is insanely weak, and maybe we'll see one or two more stars rise up like Spencer Dinwiddie, but it's running late for those players, and this is probably one of, if not one of the worst draft classes in NBA history. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment, and let me know what video you guys want me to do next. Thanks.